Officer Gibson, at the sacrifice of his own life, saved the lives of dozens of innocent people, including Missy Jenkins, a member of my staff, who said to me last night very emotionally that, and she had even more trouble than I'm having saying this to you, that she really felt that Officer Gibson had died literally, so she was alive.
The most violent incident in the history of the Capitol was 20 years ago this summer, July 1998, when a man with severe mental illness came into the Capitol with a loaded gun and ended up killing 2 Capitol police officers.
Sometimes we wonder why such things happen to such good people, but both John Gibson and J.J. Chestnut are heroes.
We thought our week was over, and so too did the leaders of the House Republican caucus.
I had a 6 o'clock plane flight going home when all of a sudden I heard what sounded like to me a china cabinet. 1 or 2 of them had fallen and hit the floor.
I was on the phone talking to Tim Berry, who at the time was, I think, Deputy Chief of Staff, and while we were on the phone, I heard the rat-tat-tat of gunfire, and then I heard, I think he said something like, "Holy shit," and then the phone slammed down.
About 3:40 p.m., Russell Weston entered the document door of the United States Capitol. Posted there was Officer J.J. Chestnut. During that time, Officer Chestnut was giving directions to a tourist, at which time Mr. Weston shot Officer Chestnut in the head. He then traversed and was confronted by Capitol Police Officer Doug McMillan, who engaged in gunfire. Mr. Weston then turned into the back entryway of the office of Mr. DeLay at the time.
Detective John Gibson, who was assigned to be the protective officer for Tom DeLay. Gibson was waiting in this anteroom. Weston fired the first shot. Gibson was hit. Gibson returned fire, even though he was seriously wounded, and felled Weston.
The gunman is down, and we have 1 officer going correct.
And then I looked behind the pillar a little bit, and I saw someone shooting.
Can I take you to somebody you could tell your story?
At the time, I was the only doctor in the United States Senate, and so when anything bad happened, somebody had a heart attack or fainted, I'd always get a call. I drove just from the Dirksen towards the Capitol, and a policeman stopped us and said, "You've got to stop. There are ambulances coming in." I said, "This is Dr. Frist." Opened the door, and then I sprinted over to the east front of the Capitol, and they said, "Come on in, there has been a shooting, we have men down." I remember those words, "We have men down."
2 officers injured. 1 died basically immediately, the other in surgery.
I went over and gave first aid, emergency aid.
Bill Frist, who ends up essentially saving the life of this guy who has just killed 2 Capitol police officers.
I was criticized a little bit by a few reporters of why, Dr. Frist, did you resuscitate the person who perpetrated this great crime? And the irony, it struck me, how could anybody even think that it is up to me as a doctor to choose who is good, who is bad, who perpetrates something and didn't.
The incident was over very quickly, but significant damage was done, obviously.
J.J. Chestnut, as all of you have already known, was a Vietnam veteran and a family man, and has a lovely wife, and he has 5 children. Detective John Gibson was a member of my security detail, as you know. He was a member of my staff, and more importantly, by extension, a member of my family.
He had been on my security detail for a long time. We got to know him. My daughter loved him. His bravery and courage was just unbelievable.
Hi, Mr. Weston. My name is Dr. Resnick.
Gunman Weston, he was relatively straightforwardly judged as not mentally fit to stand trial and has been confined to a federal mental hospital prison in North Carolina. I believe that's still where he is.
I was insistent that they be laying in repose in the rotunda of the Capitol. We got a little pushback, especially from senators, on that because that's usually reserved for presidents and national figures. But I felt very strongly that these 2 men had given up their lives protecting that Capitol.
The way in which We viewed Capitol police officers were as kinds of small-town police. They are our friends. Just as they are friendly to us, they are friendly to anyone who comes in.
Well, certainly the posture of security changed. We did a number of studies and enhanced security.
I think people who are in Washington now don't fully appreciate that Capitol used to be wide open. There was none of this protective barriers, or Capitol Visitor Center didn't exist, so it was a really easy place to get to, and nobody really thought about the possibility of a shooting.
This was really what generated the change to go to a Capitol Visitor Center.
Thinking back on how Congress reacted in 1998, nobody sought to politicize it. Gun control was not so much in the news. Mental health treatment was not so much in the news, maybe as it is now. I certainly don't recall any of the kind of partisan back and forth that we've had with more recent incidents that have touched Congress.
The shooting had the opposite effect upon the American people and upon members of Congress that the shootings we're seeing today had. It seemed to bring us together.
Even to this day, now 20 years later, I don't pass a security officer or a policeman and not reflect back to the fragility of what life is all about, the fragility of what their service is all about, and what they give of their heart, of their spirit, of their life each and every day.